ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यदविद्याविलासेन भूतभौतिकसृष्टया तं नौमि परमात्मानं सच्चिदानन्दविग्रहम्. Okay, so last time we were seeing why they are talking about creation, why the theory of creation is at all mentioned, why meditations are mentioned, etc. All that we saw. I'm sure that's pretty clear. I've said that quite a few times in different classes. Any questions, clarifications, or we go ahead? Is one of the fans making too much of noise? I think that one maybe. Just check, no? Not that one, the last one. This last one, just see. No, you off the light. Yeah. Put this one on. This one you will need. You're offing the one in front of the one behind. That's good. That's fine. That is the one that is making noise. Yeah. Okay. So we are seeing that. Any questions or let's go ahead. What is it? Okay. And then we go ahead. Now after this, he is talking about how you understand what the individual is and God is, both, Bhagavan and this thing, both. Okay. He says, Tadeva Swarupa Tatastha Lakshana Lakshitam. That which has been defined by Swarupa Lakshanam and Tatastha Lakshanam. Tatpada Vachyam. That which is the direct meaning of Tatpada in the statement Tattvamasi. Ishwara Chaitanyam Maya Pratibimba Rupam Iti Kechad. Some people talk about it as the Chaitanyam, consciousness, reflected in Maya Upadhi. Reflected in Maya Upadhi. Tesham ayam ashayaha. This is their view. What is that? Jiva Parameshwara Sadharna Chaitanya Matram Bimbam. The Bimbam. Bimbam is the form, Pratibimbam is a reflection. So what is the Bimbam? For both Jiva and Ishwara, Sadharnam Chaitanyam. The simple consciousness is the thing. Okay. Tasyeva Avidyatmikayam Mayayam Pratibimba Ishwara Chaitanya. The avidya that is characterized as Maya, total. What is reflected in the Maya Shakti is Ishwara. And Antakarneshu Pratibimba Jiva Chaitanya. What is reflected in the Antakarna is called Jiva Chaitanya. What is reflected in Maya, Ishvara, was reflected in Antakarna, Jivas. For that, what is your pramana? Karyo Upadi Rayam Jivaha, Karno Upadi Ishvaraha. Karyo Upadi, Karya meaning the effect. That is the Karya Upadi is Antakarna. That is Jivaha. Karno Upadi Ishvaraha. Etan Mate, in this viewpoint, Jalashaya Gata Sharava Jala Gata Surya Patibimboyoho Iva Jiva Parameshwarayoho Veda. The difference between Jiva and Ishvara is what? Like the sun reflected in a small lota of water or in the ocean. Huge difference. Huh? This is Pratibimba. Okay, before we go ahead. When academicians took up to writing on Vedanta, like how there is English academicians, there is Sanskrit academicians also. So, they created vadas out of it. Two examples are given. To emphasize mithyatvam, they gave Pratibhimbavada. To emphasize the unconditioned nature, they gave the Vada Avachedavada. Avacheda meaning the pot that conditions the space and all pervading space. So two examples were given to highlight two standpoints. But when academics takes over, they start categorizing. So this became Pratibhimbavada, that became Avachedavada. It is not a Vada, it is just a Prakriya for explanation, for making people understand. Huh? Pratibhimbavada, yeah. Because the manifestation is Mithya, no? To show unconditioned nature. So this is the way, in fact, in Mandukya Karika, Gaudapada says this. Upayaha sarva evete satyam tu avadharaya. Upayate tu avadharaya. They are all upayas, prakriyas used to make you understand something. Not meant to categorize it. Somehow, but that tendency in scholastic works, because scholastics are an academic work, tend to creep in. Okay. See, a Sampradayavit will stick to pure Vedanta. Even when he studies a scholastic work like what I am doing right now, I am negating the Vada part, because it is Sampradaya. But sometimes you get caught up in the scholastic thing and you go into this. Like when this Mandaleshwar took over as a Mandaleshwar of the Kailas Ashram. He was the principal of a Sanskrit college, and he was studying also from a Sampradayavit in Kashi. The Sanskrit college was in Kashi. So when he retired from there, he was given sannyasa and he took over Kailas Ashram. I am not mentioning names, okay. Those who know Kailas Ashram history will know who it is, but not otherwise. So when he took over, in Rishikesh they asked, Maharaji, why don't we have a pravachan series for you? Yeah, people will get to know him also. In Kali Kambliwala Kshetra, they have a hall. Very rustic hall, but okay. This was, I am talking some 50 years ago, okay. So remember, he is coming back from an academic background. So he said, I will talk on Athato Dharma Jignasa. Kailas Ashram, Pitadishwara, and you're talking about Athato Dharma Jignasa. Okay. So the talk is going on. And everyone from Kailas Ashram also will attend. That's a courtesy. So the Mandaleshwar who had retired before him, Vishnu Devananda, he was a great soul. You know that Murari story? It is about Swami Vishnu Devananda was a person there. So he was asked, Maharaji, how is the new Mandaleshwar? बड़े विद्वान है, तत्वज्ञानी है, लेकिन कैलाश आश्रम के जड़ काट रहा है. Straight, no holes barred. महाराज जी, यो कैसे? यहाँ तो ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा हो रहा है, धर्म जिज्ञासा नहीं होता है. That's the difference, okay? Whereas Sampradaya with stick to what you are, you know. Every talk, every this, unless you are doing talks to help people grow, that's a different thing. Yeah. It is not your scholarship. You may be a scholar, you may not be a scholar. But the scholarship is meant to help the tradition, not the other way around. That is why I am against classifying it as Pratibhimbavada, Avachedavada, etc. Examples used, Prakriyas used, Avadharaya. Okay.
So this Avachedavada means what?
Avachedavada, Atma is like the space conditioned by a pot. Avachedakaha. That means it's not really conditioned. That's the understanding. Okay, therefore, jiva parameshwara vedaha. Now he is pointing out a problem here. Avidyatmako upadehe vyapakataya tat upadika ईश्वरस्यापि व्यापकत्वम. But problem है, if Ishwara is a pratibimba, the problems of the reflecting medium will be there in the reflection.
Yes.
Correct or not? The problem of the reflecting medium will come in the reflection. Therefore, he says, and avidya is the reflecting medium. Maya Shakti na avidya. Therefore, okay, antakarna sa parichinnatya tad upadi jivasyapi parichinnatvam. Therefore, Ishvara will have avidya and you will have parichinnatvam. फिर तत्वमसी कैसा बोलेगा? Correct, है ना? See, it sounds nice when you say Ishvara reflected in the ocean. Is Ishvara consciousness reflected in the ocean? Is Ishvara consciousness reflected in a pot of water? Is jiva. It sounds nice, but the problems of the reflection will be there. Maya Shakti, avidya.
Also, if it is reflective, then it gets finite.
Yeah. Therefore, all these problems will come up. Now, how to answer them? How to answer them?
Manukya answers this, na? When you talk about the Karana Shariram and the individual and the total.
Exactly. That is one way of handling it.
Total,
Yeah.
when we say
Is free from the limitation of the individual. That's one way of handling it. Qualitative difference and all I have been talking about. Yes, qualitative difference, quantitative difference, all that I have been talking about. Okay. Here, etan mate avidyakrita dosha jiva eva parameshwara api syuh. So, for the problem of avidya will be in both. If you are looking at it like this, upadehe pratibimba pakshapatitvad. Because upadi will lend whatever its qualities is to the reflection. If you see your reflection in a disturbed water, you will seem disturbed. No? Same way here also. Iti swarasat bimbatmakatam Ishwara chaitanyam iti apare. Okay. Yeah, therefore, Ishwara Chaitanyam is Bimbatmakam. If it is Bimbatmakam, all the problems of the reflecting medium is there in it. All right. Tesham ayam ashaha. Okay, so what do they say? To get away from this problem, to prevent this problem from coming in, what do you say? Here. Ekameva Chaitanyam. Bimbatva Krantam Ishwara Chaitanyam. Prabimba akrantam jiva chaitanya. Simple. Ishvara is chaitanya surupam. That's it. Whatever is reflected is jiva. So what you call bimbam is chaitanyam, and chaitanyam equals Ishvara. Pratibimbam is only jivas. Jivas are reflection, and Ishvara is pure Chaitanya. Ishvara is not a reflection. So now in the theory of reflection itself, we are making two differences. Okay. Yeah.
Then what would be the difference between Ishvara and Brahman?
Yeah. Hold on. We are coming to that. Different nahi hai, another name. Yeah. He says, बिंब प्रतिबिंब कल्पना उपादिश्य एक जीववादे अविद्या अनेक जीववादे तो अंतःकरणा एव. Another thing comes into the picture. Okay, before that. So now, in this second modification of the Pratibimba-vada, you have Brahman, which is Chaitanyam, called Ishvara from the standpoint of the jivas. I like that part of it. Jiva and Ishvara and Brahman is one and the same. You are getting another name, that's all. Because the Pratibimbas are there. you will say Bimba is Ishwara. That's it, there's no other difference. Ishwara and Brahman are one and the same. Yeah. Only problem is, Jagat Karnatvam, how are you going to put in there? Okay? Which will come to later. And here, another thing he brings in. Okay. You know, when academics enters Vedanta, na, both golmal karta hai. Therefore, he says,
So, when he says Ishwara is a Bimba, and then the jiva is a Pratibimba. But the standpoint here, then we are taking the standpoint of consciousness and Maya Shakti. No?
correct.
When we are talking about Ishwara and jiva, both will have consciousness only.
I'll come to that. Listen.
Before that, he said that both are Pratibimba. First one. First argument. Ishwara is a Pratibimba and jiva is a Pratibimba.
Yeah.
But then he gives a Shruti also.
There is a Shruti also.
Then he said that how you can say
Hold on. I'll come to all that. I'll resolve all that. First, understand this. Understand what is being written. Then I'll come to the explanation of it. Okay? All right. Then he says, Bimba Pratibimba Kalpana Upadiyesha Eka Jiva Vade Avidya Aneka Jiva Vade tu Antakarnani Eva. This is another nonsense that is corrupted. Okay? Eka Jiva Vada and Aneka Jiva Vada. Consciousness is reflected in Maya or not reflected? First, let us make that clear. Will consciousness be reflected, manifest in Maya or not manifest? It has to be reflected. And because the reflecting medium is Maya, it can be many or it can be one. Maya is one. Okay. Therefore, and every jiva has a connection with Maya or doesn't have a connection with Maya? Are you not part of the whole? Easier question. Therefore, there is only one jiva. Eka jiva vada. ये किधर से है नॉनसेंस लेके आया पता नहीं. Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, you are part of Hiranyagarbha. There is only one jiva. This is called Eka Jiva Vada. I have seen scholars interpreting the Bhashya like this. ये तो एक जीववाद की बात है. Okay. Yes, you can look at Hiranyagarbha as a jiva if you want to, but it is not Eka Jiva. And okay, therefore, because experientially there is Aneka Jiva Vada. Therefore, in Aneka Jiva Vada, what is the reflecting medium? Antakarna. Antakarna. Therefore, Aneka Jiva Vada. We are all fine. All concepts in Vedanta are clear. You don't ask me. It is funny. So don't get caught up in this Aneka Jiva Vada, Eka Jiva Vada and everything. Why? Vedanta is taught to the individual sitting in front. What is the reality? Only consciousness. Therefore, a lot of prakriyas are used to explain it. Take it all as certain prakriyas. Okay? Take it all as certain prakriyas. To explain certain standpoints. Don't make vadas out of it. Okay? I am dead against that. Puja Swamiji also is dead against that. In fact, Puja Swamiji ignored this whole part. When I read this book, Taranand Giri also used to dismiss it. But I wanted greater clarification. So I went to Puja Swamiji and all. Then he started laughing about it. I said, Swamiji, I get it. In his laughter, it was clear for me what it is. Yeah. Okay. Avidya antakarna rupa upadi prayuktaha jiva parabhedaha. Therefore, what is the difference between jiva and paraha? Avidya upadi. That's all. Upada kriti doshascha pratibimbe jive eva vartante. Therefore, upadikrita dosha is applicable only to the jiva, not to bimbe parameshwari. Whereas Ishwara is a bimba, therefore Parameshwara will not have any dosha. सबको म्यूट करता है, they unmute and then don't mute again. If you are unmuting yourself, please mute back. We don't want to hear what you are cooking for lunch. Yeah. Therefore, he says, any upadhi krita dosha, the faults because of the upadhi, will be available only in the jiva, because jiva is reflection, not in the bimba, that is Parameshwara. That problem will not be there. Yeah. He says, upade pratibimba pakshapatitva, because upadhi is, yeah. Etan mate cha gagana suryasya jalado bhasamana pratibimba suryasya eva jiva parayoho veda. So the example used here is ek suryo che. There's only one surya. Tadrupananji. Okay. In his public talks, he would yell it so strongly that people say, barabar. One sun. Okay. And hundreds of reflection in buckets, pots of water, etc. So a lot of jivas, one sun. This is the example given. Okay. All right. Different prakriyas. Now, why is this prakriya useful? Why is this prakriya useful? So, understand that. The sense of I that you have, okay, I am like this, I am like that, all there is mithya, because all there is a reflection. So, any opinion of yourself that you have is a reflection of the consciousness. Therefore, not you. It's only a reflection. Mithyatum of the ahankara is clear if we use this example. Because ahankara is nothing but a reflection. If ahankara is a reflection, it is mithya. Therefore, your sense, all that you have taken yourself to be, mithya hi hai. Where is Satya Minute? Yeah, in both it will be applicable. Both will be applicable. Yeah. I have not used it. I never use these two vadas. I give example when necessary, both. I have given both the examples when necessary. Yeah.
The nomenclature they're giving is very academic.
Exactly, yeah. Categorical. This is Pratibimba Vada, this is Avacheda Vada, this is Eka Jiva Vada, this is Aneka Jiva Vada. Conceptualizing. Because categorizing and conceptualizing is the academic norm. Yeah, you have to. That's the way you present in academics. Which is fine for all systems. Okay, for all systems it's fine. Like physics, etc., you have to categorize it. But that is being challenged in quantum physics. Yeah. But there it is fine. Even if you are dealing with Tarka, Sankhya, etc., it is fine. If you bring it into Vedanta, you have a problem. That's why in olden days, Vedanta was never taught academically. Even in the ancient Gurukulas, Ishwara Jnanam was given, that's all. Knowledge for effective living was given, like how I do with my youngsters.
So the limitation is basically the splitting hairs.
Yes. Is categorization. Is a categorization there is the problem. Yeah.
We generally accept that first one.
Huh?
We generally accept that first one.
We accept both.
Because first one is even
Yeah.
limitation they say that one more direction is
Yeah.
good, and if you learn to come to the
Yeah. True. Yeah.
So maybe I'm still stuck here.
Huh?
I'm still stuck at this point.
Tell me, what are you stuck at?
See, when they say Ishwara Bimba and Pratibimba is a jiva. Now Ishwara word comes with relation to Upadhi only, you know. Otherwise it has to be
That is
Brahma.
our conditioning.
So then
That is, once again, that is our conditioning. Ishvara means has to be Upadhi. Brahman is without Upadhi. Once again, क्या equation है? There is no real equation, it's a vanishing equation.
then why they are using the word Ishwara? They use Brahman only, na? Then Brahma becomes
Because you are talking about creation, इसके लिए word Ishwara is used. One second. There is one Brahman. Then why are you calling Ishwara? When you are saying Brahman is also consciousness, Ishwara is also consciousness, to account for the world. One second, again categorizing mind. Two, no, one. One mind, one entity with respect to itself called Brahman, with respect to world called Ishwara. One entity. Vastu kevalam drishtihi dvayam. Vastu is one only. When you are looking at it as itself, you are calling it Brahman. When you are looking at through the world, you are calling him Ishwara.
No, but then when it is pratibimba in the jiva, the same pratibimba can be applied to the samsara also. No? Then it will be
So samsara is also mithya. Who said samsara is satyam? That is why pratibimba vada is used to show mithyatvam of everything.
So then the pratibimba of consciousness in the samsara, in the entire
World,
drishti,
yeah.
then what
That is also mithya because pratibimba.
So what is it called? We are
So,
then
Jagat. It's called Jagat. Jagat mithya. Yeah. Don't categorize. Yeah.
Equation we are having. Equation. The jiva and Ishwara.
Ah,
So here is equation jiva and
correct. Yeah.
for them actually common is with Chaitanya.
Yeah, so you are only doing Bhagatyaga Lakshana with respect to Jiva, not with respect to Ishvara. It will still work. The Bhagatyaga Lakshana you want, na? In Tattvamasi.
But then that example is when it's showing that it's not applicable.
Correct. It's not. So who said everything has to be applicable everywhere? How? That is why Avataraya, for you to understand all these prakriyas are there. Tapovan Maharaj used to love this Bimba Pratibimba example. He used to use it for contemplation all the time. You don't say, you see, understand what is being said. You don't have a separate opinion. Yeah. Because then I'll have to deal with that opinion also. No. Those are not the things, the paradigms applicable. That's why don't try to mix up all paradigms into one Mahat paradigm. One second. There are many paradigms in Vedanta. Vedanta is full of different prakriyas. Each prakriya is meant for you to understand the truth from a standpoint. So you can't try to put all prakriyas together into one great prakriya. Yeah. How will you put Chandrashaka and Nyaya and Satyam Mithya and everything into one? How will you put Satyam Mithya and Chandrashaka and Nyaya together? Tell me.
Negate all this tree and everything you will negate.
But trees is not Mithya, na, with respect to the moon. So can you see, it is one angle of showing how from the known the truth is being pointed out. Starting from what you know, body, mind, etc. So once you have done that, then the question can come, but what about the body and mind, etc. So there we bring in Satyam Mithya. So each prakriya is meant to deal with certain aspect of the issue involved. We are trying to bring it into one Mahat prakriya. Nahi hoega.
In this paragraph, when they say Ishwara,
Yeah.
from an understanding point of view, not see it as Saguna Brahman.
Yeah, see it as Brahman itself.
Not Saguna Brahman. See, गड़बड़ करता है ये लोग.
So why do you want to see Saguna Brahman? What are you interested in, Saguna Brahman or Nirguna Brahman?
Saguna Brahman means when we are talking about the creation, then it has to be. We are
What do you mean has to be? You don't decide, Ishwara decides.
they are talking about consciousness, Ishwara with respect to the world. Then they are saying, no, he's the Nibbana.
So what are you doing in your mind? Categorizing again. Right now, Ishwara, Saguna, Brahman, creation. Now you are saying Ishwara is Brahman. What are you doing in this triangle? Categorizing.
So in this
One second, one second.
what I was saying is that if jiva is a pratibimba, then with that respect, what my thing was, like kind of categorization that consciousness when it is reflected in the jiva, it becomes jiva pratibimba.
Yeah.
When it is reflected in the jagat, in Mandukya, when we said
It's a separate paradigm. Understand each paradigm for what it is. Again, I am repeating, don't try to make one Mahat paradigm.
This is where I'm not clear.
Yeah.
In this prakriya,
Yeah.
what is the nuance that they are revealing?
Mithyatum of the Ahankara.
But how then avachedavada?
Because it's only Pratibimba.
No, then avachedavada.
Avacheda is to show that the consciousness that you are is unconditioned. So each prakriya is meant to use differently. You all want to be teachers? Now here is the thing. Now you know what it takes to be a teacher. Yeah.
When I went to visit my daughter, she had books in the rack. I picked up one book. We were cleaning actually.
Yeah.
I read only 2 lines in that book. So it said that the mind does not exist.
Yeah.
And the mind body is that there is nothingness. So I thought, wow, and I did, my daughter is not.
That is Buddhism.
So no, it was not. It was an English philosopher.
Huh?
It was an English philosopher, some French guy. I don't know.
Influenced by Buddhists.
So I told my daughter, wow, you are into Vedanta. See, this guy is talking Vedanta.
Yeah.
French or Vedanta. So she said, no, there is a difference in Vedanta and this. In Vedanta, you have consciousness. He is talking about mind. Everything is not existent.
Yeah.
So I was like, how do you know what Vedanta is? When you're not existent.
She has read. She has got apata jnanam. Good general knowledge she has got.
So I was no. So what I at that time I realized that all this is so important because the argument can come from anywhere. If
Yeah,
our
correct.
understanding is I was zapped. I said, how do you know? I mean, I should have been able to tell you that this is not Vedanta, and you told me.
Have a discerning mind, and you know one tendency. This is open to everyone here. Because of our exposure to Vedanta, we'll take up a book and interpret that book in the light of Vedanta, not see what the book is. All of you sat down in my Vedanta Sara class, Shadlinga Vichara. What is that meant for? To understand the book as it is. But we don't do that. Like, what is it? The Power of Now. That book came in. So I read that book. And I got my South Bombay. That time I was taking the South Bombay class. Satish Bhai and all were there. I said, come. Read this book. And Swamiji, it is all Vedanta. It's all Vedanta. And Sahaya Sahib said, Vedanta kidhar hai? Khali Tvampada Lakshana hai. Tatpada to hai hi nahi hai. Because we are looking at it in the light of our knowledge. Just imagine if I try to look at medicine in the light of Vedanta, क्या हो जाएगा? वेदांता का भी गोची हो जाएगा, मेडिसिन का भी गोची हो जाएगा.
There are 2 different streams. This is same. The guy spoke same what we talk.
No,
The mind does not.
your daughter pointed out the difference.
No, I read only 2 lines. She has read the whole book. So
Yeah.
I thought, wow,
Yeah.
he's talking about
No, nothingness means nothingness. Buddhism. What did I respond to the statement? It's Buddhist. Straight I responded. Now then,
She didn't know the words Shunyavada. I should have told her Buddhism.
yeah, correct.
Shunyavada. She said
That's what I'm saying. So be discerning readers. Learn. Why do I do all my communication workshops and all that? So you'll understand the thing from that guy's point of view, now of the writer's point of view. In worldly vyavahara, whom does the tatparya belong to? Writer or reader? Then you have to understand his tatparya. In speaking communication, the speaker the tatparya belongs to. So you have to understand from his viewpoint. Yeah. This is very important. Yeah. Remember all the principles, even in Tarka and Vedanta Paribhasa, Shabda Pramanam, I talked about it, no? principles of communication, all that I talked about, for what? You understand from that point of view. Yeah. Yeah, it's important. Yeah, otherwise we'll make one holy mess of everything. Everything is fine. Everything is this. Yeah. Everything is not. After all, religions are the same. And one religion saying, if you don't believe in mine, I'll cut your head off. How do you say all religions are same? A kafir has to be killed wherever you find him. So many mullahs have said like that, and their recordings are available. Zakir Hussain, he's banned in India. He's going and sitting in Malaysia. Yeah. Wherever you find, you have to kill him. This is the statement they make. And how can we say all religions are one after that? In the Quran, those statements are there. He is quoting from the Quran to show that. How do you? You can always be a friend with a Muslim. That's a different thing. Yeah, you can be a friend. Why not? तू 5 टाइम नमाज कर, मैं जाके मेरा संध्या वंदनम करके आता हूँ. No problems. As a friend you can be. But there is a caution. Who killed all the Kashmiri Pandits? Terrorists from across the border, or their neighbors pointed out, there he is hiding. Who pointed it out? Neighbors, no? Let us not be blind to these facts. I am not saying you should develop hatred for the Muslim because of that. They are conditioned minds. Understand that. No hatred in your heart. But understand facts. This is not it's not a hate speech. You don't have to hate anyone. But understand facts, understand realities. If you can't understand functional reality, what you're going to understand absolute reality? Bird brains. Yeah, it's a fact. It's a hard fact. Yeah. So, be discerning in your reading of things, etc. Understand what paradigm is meant for what. Okay? All right. Okay. Therefore, the Upadhikrita dosha will be only in the Pratibhimbas, not in the Bimba. Etan mate, Jagat Surya, all that we've seen. Okay. Now he is adding a question now. Nanu jivasta mukasya darpana pradeshe iva bimba chaitanyasya parameshwarasya jiva pradeshe abhavad tasya sarvantaryamitvam na syaditi chet. My face is reflected in the mirror. In the mirror, my face is there or what? My face is here, no? Not there. Correct? If I want to make any correction on my face, I must do it here, not there, no? वो चंदन लगाने का उधर लगा दो. I'm not there, I'm here. Correct? This will be like, no. When we were in sailing days, 4 of us roamed down Bombay. फिर भूख लगने लगा. अरे यार 4 ही बजा है. The ship will get food only at 6:30. We're already hungry. We are at Chowpatty. We can go across to the ship. It will take us only 20 minutes walk from there. पैसा नहीं है. 10 रुपये. We all कितना पैसा है? 10 रुपये. Those days. So 10 रुपये कम से चाय पी लेगा. Those days tea in an Irani shop was $1. So we went across. Ideal. Remember that Ideal? Yeah, you all know that place. Those days it was not this fancy place, it was a small Irani shop. There देखा chicken sandwich, 10 रुपया. अरे chicken sandwich, 4 of us are there, we'll have one piece, drink some water, book the until we reach. Okay. Youngsters, na, 20-year-olds, book मिट जाएगा. Chicken sandwich. So they got. So one of the characters before eating, he opened and saw, थोड़ा butter है, थोड़ा chutney है, and pieces of egg are there. Chicken sandwich. मैनेजर को बोलो, मैनेजर के ये क्या चिकन सैंडविच है? सब एग है. सर आप लोग मगनलाल बिस्किट खाड़े लाए? मगनलाल बिस्किट, हाँ डब्बा खाड़े लाए. अभी जब मंगतराम बिस्किट का डब्बा लेता है, उसका अंदर मंगतराम बैठा हुआ है क्या है? तो 10 रुपये में क्या मिलेगा? चिकन यही मिलेगा, इससे चिकन बनता है। सेम वे इन द मिरर माई रिफ्लेक्शन, ओनली माई रिफ्लेक्शन इज देयर, आई एम नॉट देयर ना. So in the jiva, pratibimba, Ishwara is not there, only reflection is there. Therefore what? Tasya sarvantaryamitvam nasya. Ishwara is not sarvantaryami. Reflection ही है. ईश्वरा किधर है? रिफ्लेक्शन है, ईश्वरा नहीं है उधर. He says, no, that is not true. वेदांत सारा एग्जाम्पल याद है तो ये बोलेगा ना. सा ब्रह्म नक्षत्रस्य आकाशस्य जलादो प्रतिबिंबत्वे. The sun, the sky with all the nakshatras in it is reflected in a pond of water, in a pool of water, समझो. Okay? बिंबभूत महाकाशस्यापि जलादि प्रदेशे संबंध दर्शनेन. Now Akasha is reflected. Akasha is nothing but space. Is space present in that pool of water? Yeah. So the pool of water is reflecting space. It is also pervaded by space ना. दोनों होता है ना. हाँ ऐसे ही. बिंबभूत महाकाशस्य जलादि दर्शने परिच्छिन्न बिंबस्य प्रतिबिंबे देशे संबंधित्वे अपि परिच्छिन्न अपि अपरिच्छिन्न ब्रह्म बिंबस्य प्रतिबिंब देशे संबंध अविरोधात्. Therefore the pratibimba bimba, which is completely limitless, is also manifest in the reflection. Both are there. The reflection is also there, manifestation is also there. So to prove manifestation, we will use the example of pot space or this. Remember, the example of space is being used here. To prove mithyatvam, we will use bimba pratibimba. Are you getting it? Upayaha avataraya. They are all means to make you understand. So pratibimba vada. See, abhi kidhar problem hai? Now what have you done? You have brought in avicheda vada also into it. Enough, this much you have brought in. See, it is there. Akasha is reflected in this pool of water, and Akasha is present in and through the water, both. Why? Because it is limitless, it is not a finite entity. If it is a finite entity, you can say, I am not there in the mirror, I am here. That's fine. For a finite entity, not for the infinite, not for the limitless. For that, the closest example is Akasha. Correct है कि नहीं है? Yeah. So pratibindavada works. But you have to bring in this much of avacheda you have to bring into it. Because you have to point out the reality, Now I prefer the manifestation of that. Use that. I prefer personally, I prefer that. Yeah. That's why all my examples are wave and water, space and pot, all those are the examples used. Yeah. That is the preference of a particular prakriya will come from what has made it click for you. What has made it click? But as a teacher or as a scholar of Vedanta, you have to understand all prakriyas. Understand what it is meant to do. As a teacher, it's very important. As a student also, because you'll hear it and you'll get confused. To understand what the prakriya is meant to do.
When you say bimba, reflection,
Pratibimba.
the pratibimba reflection, then the consciousness part is not taken into account.
Huh?
The consciousness part is not taken into account.
Why? Consciousness is the bimba.
Yeah, so bimba, so when we talk jiva, the ahamkara is just a reflection.
Yeah.
Then it gives
That is why we are bringing an example of Akasha. Why even in the reflection?
only by itself,
Yeah.
bimba pratibimba
Yeah,
is not
agreed.
very, means it is not
Why?
very
Because again, as I am saying, what is it meant to use for? Mithyatvam. Ahankara is mithya. To highlight that, you use Bimba Pratibimba. Again, what are you highlighting? No prakriya will be complete by itself for all dimensions. Why? Because that will become the pramana. Then the example will become the pramana, not upamana will become the pramana, not shabda. But shabda is the pramana, not upamana. Are you getting it? Yeah. What is the pramana? Yeah, shabda is the pramana. Yeah. So you have to handle it accordingly. Yeah. So each prakriya is meant to highlight one aspect of things, one nuance. You may not need all prakriyas. If you are a very prepared mind, one prakriya will do for you. But all of us are not studying Vedanta with that much of preparation.
But one prakriya you probably understand, but you will still not be able to
Own it up.
own it.
Yeah. True. Yeah. That's how Swami Chinmayanji used to always highlight. What has gone in through the ears should sink into the heart. He is right. Because he would make kachra of the teachers, those who are going to join the ashram to become teachers and all. All of you are carrying the Shastra with you. There was this man, blind, but he would carry a lantern on his head and walk. So they asked him, why are you carrying that? It's for other people to see, then they don't come and bang into me. And then one day someone came and banged into him. So I'm carrying a lantern, how come you came and banged into me? What lantern? There is no light in that. So you all be better be careful to us. You are like the blind man carrying the Shastra. Swami Chinmayanji was ruthless in that, and I liked him for that. You shape up. Yeah. Under the discipline of a tough teacher, people grow. Yeah, no. A good student grows under the discipline. A poor student crumbles. Yeah, crumbles. Gets hurt, gets upset, and walks away. Oh, teacher is very hard. Yeah. That is the whole thing. I mean, imagine telling us just 6 months before was passing out. So people like me, had a good laugh at it. But there were people who said, how can you see that to us? Yeah, we have prayed 2 years. Khali 6 mahina baki hai. I said, so work in 6 months, no? Make it your own. You're 6 months, no? Make it your own. After that, or tapas karo when you're teaching. Your teaching is your tapas, I said. I pity your first batch of students, but okay. Yeah, but all right. Okay. Correct. So that is not the argument. The argument is the bimba is not there in the pratibimba. No? Correct. So you are saying bimba is real, pratibimba is unreal. Pratibimba is unreal or real? Decide that first.
Pratibimba is dependent on bimba.
Is it real or unreal?
It has some.
You put it as mithya? So mithya, correct? You will put it as mithya. Good. Now is the question.
So the question is when they are.
So if it is mithya and where the pratibimba is the bimba there? Am I entering the mirror or am I standing in front of the mirror? Then that is the argument he uses. To counter that, he is given the example of space. Space reflected in a pool of water. That's the only example that will work. There is no other example.
Actually, in most places when you're cornered, you have to look for an example of space. That's the closest. That's the closest. That's what we
Exactly.
provide for you.
Either use the example of space or for pratibimba, only space will work. Even wave and water will not work. And an example is used to illustrate an argument. When we use examples, we try to draw the logic from the example. No. You are illustrating your logic with an example. You have to have the logic first. That's the proper way of discussing. Yeah. Otherwise, you can give any example and draw any logic. Correct? Yeah. Vedanta is like a sharp knife. Very dangerous. Don't give it around to everyone. Because knife is dangerous, you see. A knife is dangerous. What is the connection? Or you must have heard another thing. Your emotions can disturb your thinking. So your intellect should be like the two banks of the river that keep the flow smooth in between. Example is nice. The banks of the river helps to keep the flow channelized. But how will your intellect do that? Everywhere I have met these champions of the study groups, I have asked that how? Your example I understand, correct. But how? How is intellect like the banks? Oh no, but like the banks it should be, like the, this is, you're drawing logic from the example. It is not used to illustrate. Because that's Vyashama Drishtanta actually speaking. Vyashama Drishtanta, a little problematic Drishtanta. Yeah. That's why I use the paradigm thinking causes feelings, etc. So your feelings have to be handled by your thinking, the whole thing. Then you can say, now this is how you use, intellect has to use to handle your emotions. Then you can say like the banks, then it is all fine. But if you give the example first, you make no sense of it. Because the how is not clear. The how has to be clear. There are other paradigms also for handling the mind. Yeah, I can give you half a dozen paradigms. This is the simplest and the easiest. That cognitive change is simplest and easiest. For someone else it may not work. For them I'll have to give some other paradigm. Yeah. Okay. No, bimba pratibimba mein wave and water kidhar se aayega? Because there is no major this thing. But in wave and water is not reflected anywhere, na? There is no reflection. You are reflected in wave and water. But yeah, that's why that example won't work. Won't illustrate it. Only this example will illustrate. So you have to choose what is it for what you want to convey. Choose an illustration that's in harmony with what you are trying to convey. So anything can be an illustration. Why? Because Atma is connected with everything. You have to learn how to use it, that's all. See, once you understand the truth, it is super simple. Until you understand the truth, you are struggling a bit.
It is even super simple to understand, but not super simple to communicate.
Yeah, it is not.
Because when you start communicating, you start conceptualizing.
Yeah. What does Yama say in Kathopanishad? Kushalanusishtaha. He says, other than me, who can explain this? He says, he goes to that extent to say, other than me, there is a sampradaya with it. That's why the sampradaya of Vedanta has to be clear, along with the learning.
I have not seen other religions, but when my daughter is on the Aristotle and Newtonian logic and all,
Yeah.
it can be very challenging.
No, but I'll tell you what, Jainism has a very beautiful logic in it. It is called Syadvada. Very beautiful neurophysical logic it is. Syad asti, syad nasti, syad asti nasti, syad asti asti nasti, syad nasti nasti asti.
What does it mean?
Okay, to give us a digression from here, okay? Give a simple example. It is similar to the Schrodinger's cat that most of you might have read in science. It's a cat in a box. That example is good, that's why I'm using it. Cat in a box. At some time, some poisonous gas is going to be injected into the chamber. When you don't know. So at a given point of time, can you say whether the cat is alive or cat is dead? Huh? Because you don't know when the poisonous gas is injected. So at any given point, it may be alive, it may be dead. It may be alive, it may not be dead. or it is alive, not yet dead. Syad asti nasti. 3 options clear. Like that you are creating more options. Chances of it being living are higher. Asti asti nasti. Chances of it being dead are higher. Nasti nasti asti. Can you see? They create 7 options out of it. Huh? All mithya, because they are all speculative. So a thing, why is it important? A thing can be talked about from these various dimensions. So it's very useful for creative thinking and neurophysical thinking as far as the world is concerned. It will help you understand the mithyatvam of the world very well. What does it show? The logic. There is no definiteness in anything. And that's what Jainism tries to prove. There is no definiteness. So that much is fine. That much is acceptable. Then all the karma theory, etc. are not acceptable. Not logical. So are you all clear about the Pratibimba theory? The understanding of Bimba and Pratibimba. Okay. Prakriya. Don't even say theory. Theory is a wrong word. Prakriya. Okay. A paradigm to understand. A paradigm of presentation to understand. Okay, then there is one more. Huh?
Methodology. Methodology.
What is that?
Methodology.
Prakriya can be, say, a particular way of explaining, a particular methodology of explaining, using a particular example to explain. All that will be. Okay. There's too big of a para left, so that we will see later. After that, we will go into the Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, etc. Therefore, what example can we use to show Maya tatamidam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina? Maya avyakta murtina sarvamidam tatam. What is the example that can illustrate that I pervade everything?
Dream example.
Dream example can be one, yes. And space example. In a limited sense, ocean and wave. In an even more limited sense, cloth and kurta. Application, existence pervades everything that exists. That's how you apply that. Applying is that what? Existence pervades everything. Illustration is space and the wave and water, etc. Kurta and cloth. You can use any example because I said everything is connected with everything. So remember, everything is connected. So, golden ornaments, clay and pots, traditional examples. Yeah.
Sir, can we use this example? Ishwara is Brahman, but Brahman is not Ishwara.
No, you can't make that statement. Ishwara is Brahman, Brahman is not Ishwara. Brahman is Ishwara, Ishwara and Brahman are the same, not different. Two viewpoints about one entity, that's it. Yeah. I know there is one book written where that is mentioned like that somewhere. It's not true.
I mean, the water wave example.
Yeah, exactly. So, think about it, okay. We'll sum it up next class and go into Tattvamasi. Okay. Good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.
Namaskar, sir.